from the team called the morning steam. It's time to break, run for cover. That's gonna cover, that's gonna cash. Then we make the 100-yard dash to the window. I don't know what you thought. It's Ramon Scott running so hot. Sports make money and we make money with sports money every single day. NFL, NHL, NCAA. Stay away from the juice, we might play a parlay. It's the morning steam. What? Ramon Scott, sports money. What? Wake your ass up and let's get to the money. Get to the money. You know how we do it.
All right, a pleasant good morning to you coming from the sports betting capital of the world, Las Vegas. This is Ramon Scott, and welcome to the Morning Steam Show here for Sunday, November the 16th. And we're on and we're ready, and we're just minutes away from kicking off live action. Actually, we have started live action, considering that the Pittsburgh Penguins and the Nashville Predators, that's maybe the game we should be watching here this morning. I don't know if it's that much better of a game than our NFL game. Set to go here in just a few minutes. We're going to get right to the previews and right to the action. No reason to talk about yesterday now, because it's time for today with NFL play from the Bernabeu, a historic venue. Doesn't look like it used to, right? It looks like a giant spaceship. They're a beautiful stadium, actually, with incredible. You'll wonder why in the United States they've tried so many ways to invent rolling turf and hidden turf and how to grow turf. And man, this is what you want to do with these guys. That this turf here in Spain. So we're ready to go here. In just a few minutes, we'll preview this one right away and get right to the action here. But I'll say hello and we'll start a preview here of the Commanders and the Dolphins. Get your picks ready for the game from Madrid here, home of course, legendary Real Madrid. And man, that turf is just glorious, isn't it? You wonder why they all can't be that beautiful. And what a stadium, huh? Why wouldn't you want to put your NFL games here in this venue? It looks simply spectacular there. All right, just say hello real quick and get started the show. And the festivities here. Cash Kane is ready to go. M the Great is ready. We'll preview this one for 10 minutes. Might as well talk about it, but there is some steam to report coming in right now. We'll get that to you. Here's Blake as well. Nuke is here. He wants the Dolphins today to get this money, laying the 2.5, and Mr. Weskers is joining us in the chat. All right, real quick, just a little steam coming in college basketball. I will say that early on, the steam from the early games didn't do very well, but man, it sure did come through again late. But we got some right now here. Lindenwood and Alabama A&M. We're seeing some steam here in this one right now with the move here to the under in Lindenwood and Alabama A&M. I'm sure we'll be going off a few times here with the nice college card, but let's put this one on the board and get us started. We have a goal right now. Pittsburgh Penguins, have they just scored here? Let's see what happened. Was it a power play? No, it was a regulation strength goal, but the Penguins are reportedly on the board here right now in Nashville. Man, they scored one goal in 59 minutes yesterday, but it didn't take them long here today as they've scored a goal here within the first 2 minutes of the game here right now. The Penguins are on the board, 1-0 here.
Steam play.
And also, here's one more move here. We just said the Lindenwood Alabama A&M game just moved here, and that one goes from, on this Steam report here, from as high as 157.5. This thing's down to 152.5 here right now in Lindenwood and Alabama A&M. How about that? That's a 5-point move or so here. Not on this move, but it was already moving lower. And the under with Lindenwood and Alabama A&M. Also, just moments ago, it was Harvard and Marist. Steam to the over here in this one with Harvard and Marist. It was 127, and it is now 129. So steam to the over here with Harvard and Marist. A little 2-point move there with 127 up to 129 with Harvard and Marist. Let's get going here right now and keep it going right now. And thank you to Noli. Oh, man, it's so great to see you, Noli. I hope all's well. Really great to see you, man. He's got a play right there. Look at that. App State and Dartmouth under. Thank you, Noli. Really appreciate that. That one's at noon Eastern and 9 Pacific time here. And like I said, we're getting ready for our second start here with Pittsburgh already on top, 1-0 there in the game against Nashville. Already rolling there a little bit from Stockholm, Sweden. Hello to Tariq. Great job last night with us on the show. Had a great time with the guys for the UFC 322. The fallout of that fight there with that troublemaker. Let me just go up against the whole Muslim Brotherhood is basically what the way Dana White put it. Good morning to Bobby Mack as well. Let's get going here. We got 8 minutes, man. That time is flying. Let's go to the Commanders taking on the Dolphins here from the Bernabeu in Madrid, Spain. Got the Dolphins here favored, like Nuke said, by 2.5 here, and the total is 47. Yeah, not a great game, but hey, this venue might make it all worthwhile here today. At least we got a football game here to enjoy with the Commanders and the Dolphins. You know, the Commanders are going for a record here in this game. They're going for a record losing. No one has gotten beat ever by like this team has right now, having lost their last 4 games by 22, 21, 24, and 22 points. If they can manage to lose this one by 20, they'll equal a record set back in by the 1963 Pittsburgh Steelers as a second team to lose 5 games in a row by more than 20 points. That shows that really, I mean, as the tumble that Washington has taken here, that's kind of unprecedented. I mean, these guys might be really, really bad here, but we'll see. I mean, look, this might be a game where we have a lot of ineptness and probably be some volatility here in this one. And, you know, the Commanders are getting a little bit healthy, at least in their wide receiver core. So maybe there's just a little bit of that there that they can rely on here, maybe to stay in this game. And you wonder how long can Coach McDaniel last, right? With as bad as the Dolphins have been, he has gotten basically, I don't know if it's a vote of confidence or maybe the Dolphins just don't want to, restart in the middle of the season. Maybe they listen to me. Maybe they listen to me and say, hey, Ramon still likes McDaniel, so let's not fire him. Let's give him a chance still here to turn around. It's not all his fault. You got subpar personnel out there. But nonetheless, in this game, maybe you might think that the teams have inept offenses here and will be an under, but I probably think they'll be more like just bad defense here right now, especially the way that the Commanders are giving up points here at this point. Even the Dolphins might be able to get something going here against these guys. For Miami here, they come in 3-7. They've won 2 of their last 3 after a 1-6 start. I don't think they're turning it around necessarily, but they have some issues too in those those 6 their last 6 losses, allowing over 27 points in those games. Miami just 3-7 against the spread. Their last 10 coming off of a win here for the Commanders. Like I said, these are kind of unprecedented, giving up these points here late, of giving up 44 in the last one, 38 before that. They had one where they gave up 44. So it's just been bad defense here. They were supposed to rely on their combination of Jaden Daniels, and you got, good talent here on offense, right? With Debo and well, now just Debo, but because obviously they're missing some of their other guys. McLaurin's out still, but you have Zach Ertz here. It should be all systems go, even though maybe my computer doesn't agree. I would think it'd be offensive city here in pristine conditions on this turf. A controlled environment. You see the cover on top of this stadium here, and some of the worst defense around. You got a bottom 5 rushing defense in the Dolphins. You got a bottom 7 rushing defense in my ratings. In the Commanders, they can't cover anybody. Debo's probably going to go look at lots of volume here with Mariota, even because from there, you got Debo and you got Ertz, and then from there, you got a lot of guys who don't make real big impacts. Guys like Chris Moore in there for the Commanders, Jalen Lane for the Commanders, and then beyond that for Miami, you certainly can trust some of their weapons. I would think here with the Achan, the way he's been playing here of late, he was on fire in that Buffalo game with 2 touchdowns, 174 yards rushing, 6 receptions. He was the man in that one that we've seen before. And with Jalen Waddle probably set up for a big game here against this weak Commanders defensive unit. Malik Washington even here could score plenty of points. Go on down to tight end here. The guys were talking last night about Greg Dulcich. And he could be the man, although you also have Julian Hill, who is back, I believe, here. I don't know if he is getting the start here necessarily, but all of a sudden it doesn't matter because I'm watching the woman singing the national anthem here. I don't want to talk anymore. So Julian Hill, he might be in there. Nonetheless, I mean, it's all systems go for these two teams, in my opinion. That I think 47, I mean, that's not too high, I don't think. And I'm going to take the game to go over, actually, here with the Commanders and the Dolphins. Yeah, we got Mariota in there, and we know what his game is. He likes to take off running still, despite him, being a little bit older nowadays. But we know Tua. Look, we can make fun of him all we want, but a lot of teams will still take him. Throws a good ball as long as he doesn't get killed out there, and he's done a good job of avoiding injuries this year. Let's face it. You might not have him in your top 10 quarterbacks, but when you got a solid, balanced offense like these guys do, I'm sure they can get out there against this team anyway. And I would think that the Dolphins would be able to score plenty as well. So I got to go with the over here in this one with the Commanders. They've allowed, with the Commanders and the Dolphins, the Commanders have allowed over 350 yards in 8 of their last 9 games coming in. They've allowed their opponents to go over their team total in 7 of their last 9 games. The Dolphins have gone over their team total in 6 of their last 8. I'm just not sure I trust the Dolphins to cover a number here. We may get a game that is wild enough to come down to the finish and maybe be a 1 or 2 point game. So I appreciate you guys who are on the Dolphins maybe laying the points or the Commanders here. Let's take a look and get rolling with some of the picks because we're going to start here in just a couple of minutes and be able to talk a little football, watch a little football with me here on the morning steam. And let's see, we got Trevor. He's on the over here as well. Robot Glock says, party people, party people. That's our chat. Ladder the Dolphins, alt line over the Redskins. He likes them in a blowout here, or take the alt line for the Packers against the Giants. We'll report to you on some weather conditions here today. Windy in 4 different venues, showing a big time wind here, and we know that sometimes is a bigger factor when it comes to weather over. Sometimes some precipitation or something like that. So M the Great says maybe this will be a little bit of a rough one today. You know what? It may come out looking like an aesthetically pleasing game, especially if we get some points. Sometimes we've sat through some of these, right? These overseas games and been a little bit of a struggle. I don't think we're going to get that necessarily here today. And there's Cash Kane on Washington. Robot says, yeah, no McLaurin here still. So that affects Washington. He probably needs all the help they can get. Jermaine here, M the Great says Tua INT. Yeah, I mean, he throws one practically every game. All the one thing to consider is that the Redskins are playing a epically bad defense right now. Very, very bad for sure. So, but Robot did that pick parlay between both quarterbacks here. With the other game there with Winston in that Giants game, not in this game, but Tua in this game. You know what I mean? And Achan here over for Jermaine. And yeah, it just feels like the Dolphins have a lot of weapons to choose from. But hey, you can't do worse than kind of grinding it out. I think Achan has a chance to be the most productive player in the game. He has Tua under 31.5 passing yards, so Jermaine is kind of focused on the running game here today. And Andrew G is there. SF Niner says Sinner will receive not much resistance here in the big tennis match today. This one goes off in 2.5 hours. A really epic matchup here between the two best players currently in the game, with Carlos Alcaraz and Yannick Sinner. Sinner favored here, and SF Niner likes it to go in straight sets. All right. And let's see, Justin is here this morning. Dirty Reg is going to take the Dolphins here, and he's liking it. They were talking about today, with this one being the last game, that looks like they're going to expand it even further next year. More international games next year, just more weeks of international games. Look, we're a long ways away from having teams based overseas. Football is probably the toughest game to do that in, right? As far as putting teams overseas and trying to, it's just too tough, especially in football. I guess football might be the first one to do it, right? Because of the 1 week, you figure you got the 1 week and you can maybe do it, but it does feel like we're years away. Probably not in my lifetime, if you know what I mean here, but McDaniel seems to be enjoying the festivities here and the national anthems. A little bit of steam here real quick. We'll get your pick in if you want, but I'll just touch on a few here. Bryant and Valpo, we're seeing some steam here to the under in the game between Bryant and Valpo. It was 147. And now we're seeing this steam come into the under here in this one with Bryant and Valpo. It's down to 140, 143.5. These things are taking a tumble. Let's get on these. You can still find some 145s here real quick if you do like the under. And again, remember, right now I'm showing this week. We mentioned last week how it finished at about 57%. That steam that comes through for us, that would get it done, right? If we hit 57%, we wouldn't have to worry about too much in our lives. But that's where it is again this week. So about the second consecutive week, the steam's coming at 57% on those open. Look at that. If you're looking at it like I am, the grass, right? How they put them, that is amazing, right? I mean, I know it's probably very expensive, but hey, this is professional sports. We can't have grass like that. And did you see that just now? The way the grass was coming up and moving, and it looks like a giant Rubik's cube out there. And hey, the man with the orange gloves is signaling that we're just about ready to start. If you've ever attended an NFL game and know what I'm talking about, with your friends, you can. There's one man that you can watch down there, and you can tell your friend, "Hey, we're going to a commercial." The man with the yellow gloves, just look for him. He's the one that signals what they're doing on the field when there's a timeout, when there's a commercial, when to start. The man with the orange gloves. Okay, we're just about ready to start. Hopefully, all your picks are in. Penguins, yeah, they're making a route off this goalie in here today for Carolina. They went down to the Juice Saros having a rough game. I was thinking of the Pittsburgh goalie, Murashoff. He's getting an easy time of it here. Pittsburgh, the route is on. That one, turn it off. Let's go. Kickoff is in. We're underway here from the Bernabeu with the Dolphins and the Commanders here. Remember that Super Bowl between the Redskins and Dolphins when John Riggins ran that ball on that big fourth down play and busted it off the left side and ran for a touchdown? And let's see here. Did we get all your picks in, you guys? Dirty Reg was the last one there. And nobody else chimed in. Not many to chime in here today on the Morning Steam Show, but I'm on the over here in this one. And yeah, I might be leaning a little bit to the Commanders here. They're pretty bad, but I'm just thinking, I'm more so the play for me is probably just a close game, and I'm going to take a little bit of points, but I prefer the over strongly here in this one. And the first play from scrimmage is Achan and a first down, just like that. It didn't take long. 5 seconds, first down. Thanks, you guys, and enjoy this one. We'll be here probably for the first half, it seems like. And we'll get started on the rest of the NFL card here. Again, 3 games to look at, or 4 games to look at with weather conditions today, with uh, uh, wind conditions in Buffalo with the Tampa Bay Buffalo game. Weather, to play a factor in that one. And Pittsburgh, 20-mile-an-hour winds in Buffalo today. In Pittsburgh, 17-mile-an-hour winds with higher gusts possible for the game between the Bengals and the Steelers. Also, in New York at the Giants game, Packers and Giants, 20-mile-an-hour gusts there. And in Cleveland, also stiff weather conditions in the afternoon game there, 25-mile-an-hour winds in that one. So, man, it's going to be some tough sledding there, it sounds like, in that one. That one might be worth a look just on the weather alone. Probably there. I've already kind of handicapped that in. And here's another big run. This is so easy against these Redskins. They'd be probably good. I'd nominate I said Redskins, didn't I? The Commanders for the flag football championships. That'd probably be easier for them to tackle Achan here, just going off with the first 2 plays of the game. Runs to the right side. I guess the strategy is runs to the right side. All right, I better get rolling here. We can recap a little bit, but hey, if you get more plays from me over at winnable.com, I'll have a package sent out here today in the NFL and college basketball for sure. Man, I didn't have as good a college basketball day as we had there yesterday, but we'll go back at it today. There's also previews of the NBA, an 8-game card here. NHL, we're down to 4 games now today, and we'll have one special preview for Nuke. Today, the Grey Cup, the championship of the Canadian Football League, will be determined today. They're playing this one in Winnipeg between Montreal and Saskatchewan. Who do you like, the Alouettes or the Rough Riders today in the CFL Grey Cup? The CFL playoffs, if I'm not mistaken, they pretty much avoided any treacherous weather. I don't think did we have any snow games in the playoffs at all here in the CFL this postseason? I don't know if we did. All right, and let's keep going here. No time to waste. We'll let the Dolphins go down the field, and we'll preview the other games. Hey, go to winnable.com/Ramon and use the promo code STEAM to save 20% off my premium pick package. Here, you get extra plays. I try to bring you some great plays here every day, but hey, you can get more plays from me a little bit closer to game time when more information is in when you subscribe, and it supports me here on the channel. I want to thank everybody. There's Dulcich on the board here with the 5-6-yard gain. And he's on the board here right now. So Dolphins going to use all their weapons on this one. So check me out over at winnable.com/Ramon and support me, please, here on the channel. This will keep me coming back and doing this show every time, every day. I love to do it. It makes me feel like I'm a famous sportscaster, like I've always wanted to do, have my own show with a bunch of previews. Andrew says it looks terrible. Commander's defense terrible. Real Madrid. I think, though, because, Robert, you saw how the thing works, right? I think they, can put different parts of the grass in different, like if there's one bad part here, I want to look into it again. It is amazing. And what is Tua doing? Oh, did he have, I missed it. Was there something bad here? And good morning, Tavar. All right, let's just go with our previews here where we can recap maybe everything that happened yesterday. Okay, I want to at least say, look, Texas A&M, big-time comeback. That was so thrilling there. They took the lead in the SEC, obviously, with a 31-30 win over South Carolina. Oklahoma beating Alabama. That's the big loss. Alabama had a 17-game home winning streak snap. So, you know what? A&M on top in the SEC with, one of their greatest seasons of all time right now. And, you guys talked about Reed. Why couldn't he be the Heisman Trophy winner right now for an undefeated team? And he went for 439 yards, 3 touchdowns, and led them back. And They're 10-0 for the first time since 1992. Michigan beat Northwestern at Wrigley Field. USC knocked off Iowa by 5 in rainy conditions. Georgia Tech over Boston College in one of the exciting games of the day, 36-34. ASU also edged West Virginia in a late score, although that one was with 2:45 left, the winning field goal there. And I think he may have gotten that first down where they're spotting it. LSU edged Arkansas in that rivalry game, 23-22 there. And there were other upsets yesterday as well. Navy beat South Florida as a 10.5-point dog. Nevada over San Jose State. Arizona over Cincinnati. These are all underdogs yesterday. Kent in overtime over Akron, and Virginia over Duke. All right, let's do football here. We want to talk football while we're in on football here. Oh, wow. Did they really call it short of the first down here? They're going to have to bring in Patterson for a field goal on 4th and inches. This will be a 46-yard attempt. All right, first game up here. Let's see. You guys are saying the same thing, right? Why not just go? You're 3-7 here. What's going on? And this one, though, is good. Nuke says, who's going to beat Ohio State, right? Can Texas A&M? They look pretty good. That'd be a good national championship game, wouldn't it? Texas A&M and Ohio State. And, it was a delay. Thank you, Robert. That's what I missed there. Okay. That I was chatting with you guys there. Missed what happened there. Thanks, Reg. No wonder they had to kick it. Typical Dolphins, right? Okay, let's go right into the previews here. Let's go to one of the games that I just mentioned here with the Packers taking on the Giants. Could be windy conditions here in this one. I think the total's already kind of gone down here a little bit too. Still 42, maybe even 42.5 here with the Packers favorite on the road by 7. They're seeing plenty of 7.5s out here. It does feel like the action's kind of rolling in on the Packers here. Jameis in at quarterback here this week for Jackson Dart. And, look, the Giants have had a little bit of resurgence under Dart here of late, but, they're not very good. The Packers are 5-3-1. Feels like they should be better than that a little bit, right? But they've lost 2 in a row. The Giants have lost 4 in a row coming in. Packers losses here of late, remember, to Carolina and then the Philadelphia game. So, hey, tough game against Philly, not so much against Carolina, but still. The Packers poor against the spread this year, 3-6 ATS, 1-3 against the spread on the road. The Giants are actually 5-5 against the spread this season. Despite that 2-8 record, they have been able to, get some numbers here at home as well. They've covered a couple of games so far this season. So, yeah, for the Giants here will be Jameis Winston. And look, we all love Jameis. We love eating W's, don't we? But I don't know if he's actually the best option even in this scenario. Yeah, maybe over Russell Wilson he is. Maybe Russ has said, hey, you know what, I'm done anyways. Don't put me in there. I don't know. But the Giants have lost their last 4 games. They just fired Daboll this week, so they've got an interim coach. It's the offensive coordinator, Kafka, and it was because of kind of a falling out between the coaching staff. And, well, they elected to stay here with the offensive coordinator and now play caller here with Kafka to take over for Daboll. They said maybe Daboll was the problem. So the Giants had been going over their team total under Dart, but I think here it kind of stalls, and I think the Packers are set for a romp here in this one. Actually, they have poor numbers as a road favorite. I can't tell you anything positive about it. They're 5-14, their last 19 as a road favorite coming in. But Giants 5-8 ATS last 13 as a home underdog. 4 of the Giants' last 5 games have gone over the total that the Giants have won. 4 of the last 6 in this series, and Green Bay's lost 3 of the last 4 here into play the Giants. This meeting has gone over in 3 straight games between the two teams. Green Bay is 3-1 to the over on the road, but I think they'll probably just take care of business here with that good defense and hold the Giants down big time here. I've got the Packers to roll actually by double digits here in this one. I'm taking the Pack for sure over the Giants here today. And here we go in the chat with some picks for you, and it is Justin on the pack with me, or I'm with him, and Robert's got the under here. Var says go over. Jermaine says go over. And this one says 7.5 is a lot for them to cover. Blake says he's got Jameis for 2 picks today at plus money. Tariq says Giants team total under. Look, this is a great opportunity for the Packers here to at least keep up their winning ways and make sure they can make it to the postseason here. Nothing's certain when you're just 5-3-1 right now, and I think they'll probably smash the Giants here today in this one. There goes Bill Merritt. I'm picking up yardage as well on these Commanders. Look, wasn't a great to get only 3 points out of that, taking that time off the clock. Help. Let's go offense. All right, I'm taking the over in that one. You guys are done. I'll move on. Let's go to another one where there could be windy conditions today in Buffalo. It may not affect them in the future when they move into that great stadium, but out here at the old Rich Stadium, or whatever they want to call it nowadays, definitely a situation where it's going to be a little bit windy for these guys, for Baker in there, and for Josh Allen, as the Bills are favored by 6. And the total 46.5 here, but we'll see. I mean, look, I think these weather conditions could wreak havoc a little bit. And hey, you got 2 teams that, we were talking to the guys last night, and they were kind of critical of the Buccaneers rushing defense and how Cook could light them up here a little bit. And you know what? To a certain point, I think that might be true, but I don't know if I'm necessarily willing to bet against it here. It was strong as Cook has been, and he could have a strong game. I actually rank the Tampa Bay defense probably bottom 15, maybe just bottom of the pack. I don't know if I have them in the bottom 10 or even 5, like the guys were kind of talking about them last night. I think a better rushing matchup actually belongs to the Buccaneers here, with Rashad White and maybe a little bit of Tucker against the Buffalo defense. Maybe the being on the road neutralizes that a little bit, but if I'm the Buccaneers, I try to make sure I'm establishing the run. If I can't get the run going, it could be a little bit difficult for Baker and Igbuka. Got Sterling Shepard in there. Saw a lot of shows talking up Cade Otton this week. I don't think that's a great matchup. I rank Buffalo as number 1 against tight ends this season, so it might not be the best matchup here for the Buccaneers offense coming in, but they're getting enough points, and Baker and his penchant for covering spreads, no matter how you want to look at it, he's your man that always keeps you in the games, and that's what he does. That's what and he's a backdoor specialist too. So look, Bills need this. The Bills here coming in right now. They've had a few hiccups for sure. 6-3. The Bucks are 6-3 as well. Both teams coming in off a loss, of course. Bills lost last week to Miami in that blowout loss on the road. Tampa Bay, meanwhile, off the loss to New England. It was a good game. Oh yeah. Hey, did your favorite tight end? Did your favorite player just score a catch there with Yankoff? Did Yankoff just get a catch, you guys? I think Yankoff. Tampa Bay, the loss to New England, but it was a pretty good game. Looked like a kind of a playoff type of game there last week. I know you guys ready to bury the Bucks here a little bit. They're 4-1 against the spread on the road so far this season. No reason why to think, for me, they can't continue to compete here in this game against the Bills. Bills are just 2-5 against the spread as a favorite. Tampa is 1-4 to the under on the road. The Bills are slightly under, although 3 of their 5 at home have gone over. Tampa Bay 13-3 against the spread. Their last 16 games as a road underdog. And we see the Commanders here with a completion close to the Dolphin 35 with Lane making that grab. Buffalo scored, let's see here, in their wins, averaging more than 28 points and being favored by a touchdown. I guess they should be able to get that. But with these weather conditions today, I'm actually going to take the under in this one with Tampa Bay and Buffalo, especially up here at the 46.5 right now. Give me the under with the Bucks and the Bills as my play on the morning steam show. Let's see what you guys have here. Packers defensive touchdown in that Giants game there. Thank you. Here's VAR on Tampa Bay. Bucks plus the points here. Baker to throw a pick. And let's see. Nuke says that look at those conditions there. Hey, do we want to see a white field? Bills first half for Blake. Roberts on the under. And D Money though says go over. Hello to Gooey McDougal. And he says it looks like a Commanders blowout there. Gooey, I don't know if you missed the first drive. The Dolphins look pretty good too before stalling with a penalty in typical Dolphins fashion. But I think now the game started. I'm on the record here. I do have the Commanders in this game, and I took some money line with them as well. Over was my stronger play in the game, but I did like the Commanders here. Look, if it was in Miami, I'd probably be all over the Dolphins here, actually, but I don't know if they've looked that good in their previous appearances overseas. All right. Yeah, when I say robot, I'm kind of old school on this. So I know a lot of people will say like the best record of that. But when I say over, if I say over, I'll say like 6-2 to the over, meaning over. If I say under, I say 1-3 to the under, and I say under second, right? So 1-3 to the under, meaning 3 unders and 4 overs. Thank you, robot. I know I'm one of the few, probably more confusing than other talking head cappers because I'm one of the few that does it that way, but I can't stop. I mean, that's the way I've done it for not only years, even before doing shows or whatever. I've just always kind of done it that way for my own, I don't know, dyslexia or I don't know what it is, but I just say the under second, over under. So if a team is 1-9 to the under, that means they are under in 9 out of 10. I don't think I could ever switch at this point. I don't think my brain would allow it. And the Pats, could the Pats end up with that home field advantage throughout the playoffs? Tariq likes Cook to get a touchdown, and so does Robert there, I think. All right, I'm going to take the under in that one. Let's go to next up. As the Commanders inch closer here, maybe they'll get in, maybe they won't. It's first and they could get another first down. The Bengals are on the road here, taking on the Steelers, and they're another one with the wins all up there in the Northeast, right? With some of these wins here right now, and you got Pittsburgh favored by 5.5. Total, I think the total's actually gone down here a little bit to 48.5, probably based on some of those weather conditions here, and maybe little premature maybe on my pick there because I thought there'd be some points here, whether or not the conditions, obviously when you're 48.5, I mean, you got pretty much the high total of the day, even with those conditions. There's a couple of 48s and 49s on this card, but Steelers come in here have lost 3 of 4, and they're off of a loss last time, of course, to the Chargers, 25-10. They couldn't really get it going. Cincinnati, meanwhile, has lost 2 straight, and they've been dropping some games here. They lost, of course, in that wild game to the Jets, and they lost to the Bears 47-42. Their defense has given up a ton of points as well here of late. That's the problem for them. Cincinnati basically has allowed over 165 points in their last 5 games, and they've really been awful defensively here. Pittsburgh doesn't possess the strongest offense, of course, right now under Rodgers, but maybe at home they can still rack it up here. We'll see with these windy conditions here and what other kind of treacherous weather we get today. But for the Steelers, like I said, they've lost 3 of their last 4. They are 11-6, though, the last 17 coming off of a loss. Pittsburgh is 7-0 against the spread in their last 7 division games at home. They've been beating up on division opponents. Now, this number is a little bit intimidating, I think, for a division foe here. And Bengals, obviously, here with their backup quarterback situation, too. Don't forget, we don't have any Burrow here. We do have Flacco though, and everybody knows that he can still zing it. It's just that the Bengals are 3-6 against the spread, 1-3 against the spread on the road. So maybe this isn't the best matchup here for the Bengals today, but we'll see what you guys think here. Look, it's gonna be tough for the Bengals to run. They better go to the pass for sure, but T. Higgins, Jamar Chase, the Steelers are actually pretty good against top two receivers. Also, maybe the tight end here, Noah Fant, in play for the Bengals. Pittsburgh ranks near the bottom against tight ends this season, but you know what? Bengals rank last, so you got to get some Freiermuth in there. Maybe. What's the status with Jonnu Smith though? Here, he has some good numbers too, man. They're both in line here. Pittsburgh, nobody has, I guess, I would think, 3 decent tight ends. I think I'd call them decent. A great matchup here against the number 32 ranked rushing defense for Jalen Warren and Kenneth Gainwell. So I think there could be a lot of success here for the Steelers as well, weather permitting, I guess is the way I'll have to quantify that. Temperatures here in the mid 40s here in this one. So I'm going to go ahead and take the Steelers to get this money today. I'll take Pittsburgh to cover a big 5.5 here tonight against the Bengals this afternoon. I'll lay it. Let's see what we got here. Justin, he just took 2. Oh, he's on the Steelers. All right, Bar's on. You guys are on Steelers here. Here's DK for an anytime touchdown. Guys asked me last night who I thought my top touchdown prop on the whole card was, and I told them it was Warren of the Steelers. Steelers first half and full game. Robert does like it under there. Tariq says Steelers and Metcalf. And that's right down. They're going to have to go for it here. Oh, it's third down. Okay, they're third and a half a yard. Bengals though for Nuke, gotta have a little trust in there for Flacco, maybe to keep him in this game. Yeah, it was what was it, 33-31 in that last game. Maybe that's what I was kind of intimidated by to make this a play on the over, not really considering the weather like maybe I should have here today. And Flacco, well, and not quite a great rematch from 2 quarterbacks. I don't know, Blake, if it was a typo, but I think Flacco looks pretty good. Bengals here for Robert. You guys are on Bengals for the most part. Of course, Mariota tries to keep it like a bum, and they should probably go for it. I think here you're the Commanders. You're going nowhere. Bills, Falcons, Jags, Packers, Steelers there for 9 legacy. And I think that's it for you guys in that one. Let's move on. All right, I've got a barn burner here with the Texans and the Titans. And look out. You got to pick the Titans somewhere, don't you? Isn't this the one? Who's going to take them? Houston's 4-5. I mean, they're not dead for sure here, but they do have there's these penalties in the clutch moment. It would have been intercepted. It probably wouldn't have been. He would have thrown it, but Houston's been coming off a win here, and they're 4-5. So, they're not done here. Davis Mills, and look, we were on him last week, right, in that game against Jacksonville. We loved Houston in that game here, and against Tennessee, a 4-game losing streak, and they've been the worst team in the league for sure. But you know what? They did cover in the game against the Chargers last time out. They're coming in off of a bye. Yeah, they're terrible against the number 3-6 ATS, 1-3 ATS at home. Houston's actually 4-2 ATS as a favorite, but I don't want to lay 6 points with Davis Mills on the road in this one, but I'll probably just look to the total. This is going to be a terrible game. I feel like maybe Washington's going to have to settle for a field goal too. We played this whole first quarter, and they've got 6 points. That ain't going over. That ain't going over, even though the offense has kind of moved. Typical of bad teams, right? You move in between the 20s just fine. You can't finish the deal. So, hey, I'll just tell you right now, we're not going to spend too much time on this one, right? I'm going to go under in this one. I think we got an ugly game here between the Texans and the Titans. Both teams going to finish probably in the teens here tonight. And watch out. I'm going to be playing the Titans on the money line here in this game. The Texans, yeah, I mean, they're 4-5. They probably, maybe, I don't know, is that overachieving? Did anybody see the Texans being 4-5? Or is that probably where they were at?
Final.
The Titans have a terrible run defense, so with Willie Marks and with Chubb, maybe they can get something done. Nico Collins has got a strong matchup. It's just that how effective can Davis Mills really be? I don't look at him as yeah, he's gotten in there and won some games previously, but there was a time when Davis Mills, who was a quarterback for almost a year and a half for the Texans before they got Stroud and they had some injuries, basically he went. In fact, Sharkey mentioned it on their show. And remember, we're going to only be here for another hour because we've got the big NFL preview show coming up. But Sharkey had mentioned last week during one stretch where he started, I guess, was it 18 consecutive games? He went 1-16-1. I wasn't quite paying attention to the guys, and I didn't even know what he was. I was listening to the show with all due respect to Mike and Sharkey, but I heard him say 116-1. I'm like, wow, what kind of trend has in football has a team with 116 wins and 1 loss? No, it was 1 win, 16 losses, and 1 tie for Davis Mills in there. So I don't have any faith in this guy really here. This is a situation where bad teams, I think it's worth taking a shot on this type of underdog here. All right, we got a little bit of steam here to report. It's in college basketball, and I got to say it right now because it is my pick. Ohio State is taking the steam here against Notre Dame. This was going to be my pick when we got there. The steam's coming in right now. It is going to be my pick today, Ohio State over Notre Dame. I've only previewed 4 or 5 games, and here comes the steam on it. But I did want to take Ohio State here. They're up to 9.5 here right now, and I guess I'll have to lay it. I was already on them. I'm not going to switch. I'm not going to switch on a move. If anything, I'll trust the move here a little bit and think that Ohio State will beat Notre Dame today by double digits. I like the Buckeyes. The steam's coming in on them right now, and I like them. So we got that pick out of the way right here in the good, because the Texans and the Titans aren't going to have a very good game today. Tennessee is 4-0 to the over at home so far this season. Houston 3-6 to the under. Tennessee's actually been an over here a little bit. Some steam coming in here. Quinnipiac and Maine. Steam to the under here in this one with Quinnipiac and Maine. It was, man, this one opened as high as 141 with Quinnipiac and Maine, and right now we're seeing that steam come into the under, and it's all the way down here to 137. 4-point move right here on this steam, Quinnipiac and Maine, steam to the under. All right, yeah, you guys are chiming off here in this one. So for more, you guys are making more picks in the Houston Tennessee game than the other games. That's scary. Titans get the W, says Mike. And Justin says he's got the Titans as well. Here's Barr on the over. And Mariota said, bet on me. Right? There's some things, right, where you would say, hey, you trust a guy to bet on themselves, right? Yeah, to score a touchdown or to win a game. Why not? All right. Robert on the under here. He's on the Titans as well. And Robert says it's Tennessee, but Davis Mills is good for the 6. Does that mean interception return? Titans here for Tariq. And, of course, Mike has the Titas. All right, I'm with him. Titans here for Blake. He's our Tennessee correspondent, so but he's going to take the Titans, though, in this one there. I think he meant Blake. I'm not sure. That looks conflicting there. Titans defense should be stellar today. And, oh, no, Blake was on the Titans. Gotcha. I read it wrong because it said Texans right after that. Sorry there, Blake. I gotcha. Yeah, look, they do have a little bit of defense there in Tennessee. That's the one thing they've kind of done there. And let's see. 8 distractions here today as well. All right, keep on moving on here right now and go with the Bears. taking out. They're going to play more games in Spain. I guarantee you. This isn't a one time. I know they're going to play more in all these cities, but they like pro football in Spain. This has been a long time coming, actually. Bears here and Vikings. Bears come in 6-3. The Vikings just 4-5. The Vikings almost feel like, man, they got to have this one, a division game against these Bears here right now. Quinnipiac, we just mentioned that game, and now they're taking the steam. So I guess we're expecting some defense from Quinnipiac here. They just got steamed at -2.5. Just seconds after the total came in there, and right now the Quinnipiac is up to 4.5 here at DraftKings, so 2.5 point move there. It looks like Quinnipiac taking the steam against the Maine Black Bears today. All right, Bears have been hot. They've won 2 in a row, about as good as they've been going here right now, looking good. 5-4 ATS, 3-0, 3-2 ATS on the road. Minnesota is just 1-3 ATS at home. They're in off of a loss against Baltimore, of course. Chicago beat the Bengals, beat the Giants. Hey, they beat them. Their other wins were against the Saints and the Commanders here lately out of these last 5 games. So, they've been taking advantage of a rough schedule. So, maybe the Vikings still might be just enough here to make this game competitive. Look, J.J. McCarthy, KOC didn't give up on him, and I didn't either. I think McCarthy will develop into a good quarterback. Maybe one of those game manager types, but that's okay. Western Kentucky's taking some steam here in college basketball today in their matchup against Tennessee State. Western Kentucky was a 10.5 point favorite, but they're taking the steam here right now, and they're going up to they're going up here right now. This is a time change. No wonder I'm having trouble finding it. They're up to 12 or 12.5 here, about a 2 point move on Western Kentucky. Steam on the Hilltoppers, guys. All right. Let's see here. You guys are already chiming in on this one with the Bills and the Bears and the Vikings here today. And look, Vikings back at home, division game. They need it. I get that. Bears have looked pretty terrific. I'm sure there'll be a lot of support in the chat. I'm not sure I'm going to be on the Bears here, but I might default to the total here in this one. Bears have won 6 of their last 7 games coming in. There are 14-22 are the Bears. Last 38 is a road underdog, but we know that maybe these Bears have turned the corner here a little bit. Last 2 games, Bears have given up big-time yardage, actually, over 450 yards in those 2 games on average. Vikings here have lost 3 of their last 4. They are 3-6 against the spread. Their last 9 division home games. Vikings won at Chicago 27-24 in week 1. That was quite a while ago. I don't know if it's long enough for revenge necessarily, because Minnesota's won 8 of the last 9 meetings between the 2 teams, although the Bears have covered the spread in 2 of the last 4 here right now. Unders come in 5 of the last 8 meetings between the 2. It did go over in that first meeting, that 27-24, but the meeting here last year was 30-12 in favor of the Vikings as they covered 7 points, and it was an under, and that total on that day was 48. It was 44, and it stayed under. The Bears were having some offensive problems then. But the previous game here in Minnesota 2 years ago was won by the Bears, 12-10 as a 3-point dog and a total of 43.5. I'm going with the under here in this one with the Bears and the Vikings. We've got some steam coming in right now. One of them in the NBA. Clippers and Boston under. We're seeing the steam in this one. This is an early start, 3:40 Eastern, 12:40 Pacific. Steam to the under with the Clippers and Boston. It was 221, and now we're seeing that one go down here to 219.5 between the Clippers and Boston. Also, just seconds before that, it was a college steam move that came in. It was on Valpo. taking the steam here in their game. We already mentioned the total in the Bryant-Valpo game going under, and now Valpo is taking the steam. Valpo was a 4.5-point favorite, but now Valpo is up to 6.5 on that widely reported steam. Also, seconds ago, Central Arkansas taking the steam. They were getting 9.5 from Samford. But now Central Arkansas here taking that steam, and we're seeing the move here on Central Arkansas against Stanford. They're now getting 7.5, about a 2-point move there off that 9.5. Although I will say it opened about 8. I want to say it opened maybe as high as 8.5, went up to 9.5, and then got dummied. It might have got dummied up a little bit there. Okay, Dolphins here are in Commanders territory as we start the second quarter. Here's some more steam in college basketball. This will probably be our college coverage because of our show that ends here in about 45 minutes. Make way for Mike and Sharky for their NFL preview show. My one personal note, my show over on the Nuke House channel will be is canceled for today because of this particular game. We've gone on live before, but I think they were expecting maybe to go on the air. I'm not sure. Hampton and Holy Cross, steam to the under here. This one's being played in Providence, Rhode Island, and the steam is coming in on the under with Hampton and Holy Cross. The total here in this one was 151. This one, another one where it kind of got dummied up a little bit. Hampton and Holy Cross. I think there's some room here in this one. It's 149 right now. Hampton and Holy Cross, steam to the under. That was pretty good, actually. All the steam looks good here. Let's get your plays, Bears and Vikings. Here, let's take a look. All right, got to take the Vikings here, says Mike. Cam Ward will throw more TDs to the Texans defense, his own team again. Look, I've got Cam Ward to have a good game here in this one. I know what Robot's saying. It's tough right now. Cam's struggled here in his rookie year. And look, there's promise, I guarantee you, for Cam, but it just hasn't happened here yet. Dolphins getting down close here. Take the Vikings, says Reish. Nice to see Reish in there. Titans money line there. Robot says the Bears should really be getting 3 or 6 points, and they beat some bad teams, right? The Vikings, really, remember, they've made do here. I want to say without McCarthy. I know that, look, he hasn't really shown it yet, so we don't really know, but I'm on J.J. McCarthy as a, long term, if you know what I mean. And Distraction says App State's a phony. I think is what he's saying there. Giants got to play Russ. Robert's on the Bears. Barr's on the Vikes. Robert's on the over. Here comes some more college basketball steam. Bears for Nuke. He says that, when the big difference for this team this year has been Johnson. And look, they've had some moments but hey, when you're taking over a team that's had such futility, right? He's done a great job. I've said it on here too. I think it's the big difference here. Williams does not fare well against Flores. And Blake took the Vikings. Tua, he had Dulcich and he couldn't get it to him. Thank you to Arthur. Man, Arthur, thank you so much every day for your contributions here to support the Sports Money Network. First game, Mike says, I think he's talking about this game, going to be an under. Tariq is on the Bears. And I agree, Mike, I think Cam is going to be good. I think Cam is going to be fine. I don't want to say good just yet, but thank you to Arthur Mead, everybody. Sacramento State just got steamed in their game tonight against Presbyterian. Sacramento State was a 4.5-point favorite at home against Presby tonight. But right now they are up to 7. 7. That's as much as a 2.5-point move here on Sac State as the Commanders make a big play on 3rd and 2, of course. That's going to set up yet another field goal attempt. Panthers and Falcons, a division matchup here with the Panthers on the road, getting 4 points from the Falcons. And, it does look like the Falcons might be a deserved favorite, but I don't know. Seems like a game that could go either way. Carolina is the team that's playing better this season at 5-5. Atlanta comes in with a 4-game losing streak right now, and they're 3-6 overall this season. Kick is up and good. It's 6-3. Here gotta love the kicking at the Bernabeu. Carolina here coming in off of a loss. They've lost 2 of 3. They lost to New Orleans 17-7. Carolina, they do it when you don't expect them to, and they fail when you maybe expect them to do so. But they still are 6-3 as an underdog against the spread this season in Atlanta. Meanwhile, just 1-3 against the spread as a favorite. Penix is in there, of course, now back in there, and that's probably a good sign. But like I said, Carolina, this has been, no matter how you want to look at it, or if you want to say Carolina's not a very good team, hey, I agree. But they, you have to say they've overachieved then this season to achieve this record that they have right now as a 500 ball club. I think they stay in this game for sure against Atlanta right now. Atlanta's not going to beat anybody and cover a spread, are they? I'm going to take Carolina here, plus 4 points in this one. They've got certainly a solid running game here in Dowdle going up against one of the bottom run defenses in the league. Now, it's going to be tough to pass. One thing Atlanta does do, they do cover pretty well, and, we know that Bryce can be up and down, but as long as they set up the running game with Dowdle, that's certainly going to help. I don't think I'm on any of the passing game actually for the Panthers, but I'm certainly going to be on Dowdle and a little bit of Chuba Hubbard today. Meanwhile, Penix, he could get harassed by this Carolina defense a little bit. They do put some pressure on quarterbacks, and when you got your receivers here, Drake London, now he is reported in the game. He should play, but he's been bothered by a back injury. He's coming off 2 outstanding games right now. Also, is Jamal Agnew expected to be available in this game, maybe to get involved in the special teams? Watch out. That could be a factor for Atlanta. Agnew, one of the greatest of all time, running back. Speaking of greats of all time, well, that was a bummer. Kenny Easley passed away, 66 years old. The former UCLA and Seattle Seahawks star passing away there yesterday. Anyway, I do like the matchup here for Kyle Pitts, but Penix has got to get it out to him quickly and release him. But for Bijan and Algier, I thought the numbers came a little bit high. I'm not sure I can play him in the props. Should be still a good matchup for Bijan Robinson. He's probably the best player in the game here today as far as production. I think he can outproduce Dowdle. But I'm going to take Carolina here in this matchup today with Atlanta. Carolina's actually won both of the last 2 meetings, including the one this year. They won at home 30-0. So could be revenge for the Falcons for a 30-0 game, but revenge is tougher for bad teams. I'm taking Carolina here today. Plus 4 points. Give me the Panthers in this one. All right, we're going to have some moves here right now from you guys. Oh, got some steam coming in here real quick as well. UMass Lowell and Wake Forest. Steam to the over here with Lowell and Wake Forest. It was 163.5, and that steam coming in right now to the over with UMass Lowell and Wake Forest. It's up here too. 165.5, about 2-point move there right now. And just seconds before that, the steam came in on Purdue. Purdue got steamed in their matchup here today against Akron. Purdue was a 19.5-point favorite. They're going up. Man, Purdue should beat Akron by a lot, shouldn't they? Akron's off. They've been okay so far, but the total here, the line here right now is 21.5 at some spots, so about a 2-point move on that big favorite with Purdue. Keep it moving right now here with you guys as Commanders try to get things going. Let's see what else we've got here in the chat. Yep, I agree on Legacy. I think Cam Ward, it's kind of funny, right? Same situation when you get stuck on a bad team and maybe you can get a get out of there card, right, and join a better team. And we've seen it happen with some quarterbacks. Tariq said, how about that Ohio State team? Yeah, we did mention that for sure. Just a few moments ago, it went from 8 to 9.5. And I said, Tariq, it's my play, actually. So I had to kind of give it away quickly and tell you I liked Ohio State there as the Commanders get a completion out here and a first down to Ertz. Nuke said it was 30-0 in that earlier game this season. Bobby Mack says Panthers plus the points. Also on the under here, Vars on the Falcons to win. And let's see. Yeah, Blake, Blake, that is, and you're not wrong on that. Although we do see, some marquee teams. What happens here, Blake, is that sometimes the teams that NFL games are pretty popular. Even bad teams are kind of some of the teams have such established fan bases and traditions. They still get great crowds, and there's always great crowds. But we don't always sell out all the NFL games. Thank goodness they did away with those blackout rules, right? But usually the teams that maybe are worse don't get the total fan support, and they kind of focus on those teams to go play in the international games a little bit. You don't want to ever say like we're sticking them over there in England and you get the Giants and the Saints. But this is a fact that the better teams aren't they're not going to make them give up their home games. Remember, when they go play these games, they're missing a whole gate during the season. So you try to balance it out a little bit. But, man, here come the Commanders, and that's a hit to the head. So Ertz catches it, gets close to a first down. Brent's hit him hard. He says, I hit him with my shoulder, not my helmet. But it may have been to me, I don't think these kind of plays should be penalties necessarily. I mean, when you're leaning in with the shoulder, it doesn't matter. You've launched. He has launched. I believe this will be a penalty. When you look at in slow-mo, those guys who are leaving their feet and using their body as kind of like a missile, I think this is where the penalties are occurring, even if it's not a head-to-head contact. So we'll see if they pick up the flag, but I don't think they're going to. Don't leave your feet. When they teach tackling, right? Remember, head up and drive forward, wrap up, right? Not this is where, that's not what we're looking for anymore in the game. All right. Let's see here. Panthers money line for Blake. Panthers for Tariq. That's one thing, I always talk once every show. I always talk about high school football, but or when college, it's hard to get on the field for an NFL game. I don't know if anybody's been on the field for an NFL game. Let me know. It's been many, many years since I have. I covered pro football a little bit back, but that was before the turn of the century. I haven't been on the job since 2000 when I was working for a newspaper, and the newspaper folded because that's what newspapers did. They folded. But being even on the field for the smacking of the pads, man, it really is it's a kind of a rush. I imagine for the players, it's even greater. I only played 1 year of football. I was a backup quarterback, and the starter got injured. And I got put in the game for a very good team. And my first pass was a pick six. Wish I could come on here and tell you I was a legend. I wouldn't. We went 3-1-1 with me, but it wasn't because of me. I let the team down. All right. I think we got some great comments in here. Let's see. It's Gerardo. Hello, Gerardo. Nice to see you down there. Gerardo, where you been? Have I missed you here? Have you been out of town? You've been busy? Maybe you did comment this week, but it seems like I've been not seeing you for a little while. Tampa Bay Lightning in regulation today. Thank you, Gerardo. All right, here we go. We're going to keep going. My Chargers are on the road. Come on, the Chargers against the Jaguars here. They're going to crush them, man. Come on. We're going to smack these guys down today. Jacksonville doesn't stand a chance, but I'll go to the total here in this one. Maybe I'm just biased today, but I think it's a pretty good spot for the Chargers getting healthy on defense. Yeah, they've got some issues on offense here right now, especially maybe a little bit in the running game, but McConkey, Allen, Johnston's in there today. Gadsden, the Chargers are building up a little bit of an offense here, and the defense is getting healthy. So it's a good matchup, man. They really have it. They're going to attack and make life miserable here for Lawrence. I think the Chargers will hold them down. It's still tough on the road, and they haven't really sharpened their knives a little bit to maybe cover all the numbers here at this point for the Chargers. After all, they're just 1-3 ATS on the road, and the Jaguars are 3-1 ATS at home. So it does have me, backing off a little bit. I might be talking a little bit of smack here. They set up a fourth down, and the Commanders are going to have to punt here. So I think we'll smash these guys, though. But I'm going to give out the under as my play between the Chargers and the Jaguars. So just so it doesn't sound like I'm just Charger honking here a little bit. But I think this is a great matchup for the Chargers, actually. They come in 7-3. Hey, Jacksonville's done a great job. Right now, 5-4. They, like I said, at home, they're definitely a better proposition. It is a 51-yard field goal attempt for Matt Gay here. This is well within Matt Gay's range. And he's not got it, though. He's pushed it to the right here. He's pushed it to the right. Okay, Loyola, Maryland, and Fairfield steam to the over here in this one with Loyola, Maryland, and Fairfield. The total was, 133 here right now. But we're seeing this one move here higher to it opened 132 actually, and now the steam is taking it to 134.5 here at Circa. Steam to the over, Loyola, Maryland, and Fairfield. We've only got a half an hour. We got to get this show moving here. We'll probably just again roll with the picks, but hey, we love talking NFL football on a Sunday. We talk plenty of hockey, plenty of basketball, and I talk too much. But all right, let's see here. Thank you, Gerardo. Well, it's really an honor to have you here as always, my friend, chat room legend. 3 more for Blake. What did you ladder up Ertz here? He's already got a couple, right? Should be able to get the ball to Ertz more. Hopefully, he doesn't get killed. Hello, good morning to Sports Money in the chat. Jordy's here. He's got Chargers, the money line, and Herbert to do it. Here's Robert with the under here. Bobby Mack likes the Chargers. You know what? I'll probably be on the chart. I might lay an extra point or two here. Justin here on McConkey. Great matchup for these Chargers receivers today, for sure. Great matchup pretty much all around, it feels like to me, for the Chargers offense. Although I'm not necessarily on Vidal here. But I'll tell you this, the Chargers, who else is going to get the ball? They have nobody, I don't think, backing these guys up right now between Amar Johnson. These are the backup running backs. Amar Johnson, Travion Williams, and Scott Matlock.
Final.
The Chargers, you probably can take Vidal just on the volume alone. Now, he is propped up a little bit. I don't think the numbers are no bargain, but should be only Kamani Vidal. I really. Chargers minus 6.5 for Blake. I do. I think they can win this one by double digits. I think the Chargers are making their move again here. Yeah, they had some injuries in there, but Harbaugh is always going to find a way to fix things. All right, here we go. Mike going with the under there. I'm on the under. He might be talking about this game, though. Seahawks and Rams next up, with the Seahawks on the road. And everyone's talking about this as the Cooper Kupp game, but it's only made his numbers feel like going higher. I can't really support Kupp here. In fact, I'd probably look to fade his numbers. I know everyone's talking about this as the Cooper Kupp revenge game, but look, Cooper Kupp, I think his career is probably on the downswing, right? We've only seen his production kind of go down here this season. He really hasn't been a overwhelming prospect here. Seahawks are going to need him if they're going to do any damage here in the postseason. But this is a great matchup, a division matchup. Both teams 7-2 coming in right now, and Not only that, both teams have performed well against the spread. Seattle 7-2 ATS, 4-0 ATS at home. The Rams are 7-2 ATS, 7-1 ATS as a favorite. Wow, this one's a good one. Rams have gone 1-3 to the under at home so far this season, but man, division game, I know you think maybe this number is a little bit high, but man, it does seem like it's going to be all out. I think it's a great matchup for both offenses. It feels like to me, up and down the card, up and down the board, if you will. Let me see what on these players here. We're really when there's a football game on, the show goes slower, right? Because I have to look up and see Tua get sacked. Tua just got sacked. You guys saw it. All right. So the one thing the Rams, though, have, and I think will be the difference in this game, is the fact that they are number one against the run, in my opinion. And so with Walker, with Charbonnet, who, quite frankly, I think they've underachieved. I mean, Walker hasn't hit his props in, 7 weeks after the first 2 weeks of the season. Maybe it's because Charbonnet's kind of emerged as a better opportunity, and he has been the better back, it feels like, over the last couple of games. But I think the team's turned to the passing game here, and just preferred offensive style here. Seahawks are pretty good against number ones, and Nakua could have some issues, but he's still Nakua. And watch out for Tyler Higbee today. I would probably look at him as a ATD at a decent price for the Rams. I'm going over here. The number's a little bit too high to really recommend, and I think is a premium, but I think it's about a far better chance to be an over here than it does an under, despite the 49 total today. Here comes a little bit of a weather update. They update those in the Giants games. The gusts are up to 30 and 40 miles an hour. In the Pittsburgh game, they're up to 30 and 35 miles an hour. These are the gusts now. The winds are still, Giants 20 miles an hour sustained, 30 to 40 mile an hour gusts. I'm taking these from the AccuWeather, the sports, the AccuWeather Sports maybe follows that. Here I didn't look at Kevin Roth yet, but Cincinnati, Pittsburgh, 15 to 20 miles an hour sustained with 30 to 35 mile an hour gusts. Tampa Bay and Buffalo, 20 mile an hour winds with 35 mile an hour gusts. And Baltimore and Cleveland, 25 mile an hour winds with 30 to 35 mile an hour gusts. So lots and lots of wind here in this one. Man, that Packers-Giants game, let's see if these totals are dropping, because I'll tell you what, that Packers-Giants is going to make my card here possibly as a premium on that under, because that's going to be in that stadium. I know it's not the old Giants stadium, but it plays like it. Totals is down to 41.5, shaded to the under here right now. That total is dropping, I think, on this weather information. Okay, let's keep it going, man. I gotta hurry. Thank you guys in the chat as well. Let's see, Rams for Justin, Bars on the over, Roberts on the Rams here. Could the Rams go to the Super Bowl? JSN, ATD for Justin. Blake's on the over, though. Seattle lays a dookie, says Mike. And I don't trust Walker either. I want to trust those guys. It looks great. And Mike says maybe 20. He's got it as a low score. I've got it as a high score. Okay, here we go. 49ers and Cards, another divisional matchup here. Brock Purdy is back. Look, I said, hey, you don't want to get rid of Mac Jones, but as soon as they, not get rid of, you know what I mean, but as soon as he has one subpar game, Brock Purdy, it feels like he's been ready for 3 weeks, right? But you just, yes, Mike talks about it. I talk about it. It's the old adage, you don't lose your job due to injury. And I think that was the case. I think Mac was keeping his job. I think he would have out there and looked great all season. He probably would have stayed out there. And Purdy might have been, be ready. But he had one, and not such a great game. And also the Niners are up and down here a little bit too. Mac has been fine. He's a great option for the 49ers. But going back to Brock Purdy here, Jennings, Pearsall's in today. Kendrick Bourne looks like a pretty good matchup here for the 49ers today. But these are the ones where they get caught, man. And you're going up against the Cardinals team in their best I don't know about their best roll. They're actually 1-3 against the spread at home here, but taking the points here. Brissett in there. Uh, Wilson's looked good. Dortch has been okay. McBride's been awesome. Now, Bam Knight, what's his deal? He's got the questionable tag, but he's expected to play. In fact, I updated it just a short time ago that he'll be in there. I'm taking the Cards today. I'm sure the Niners can win. They need to win. You got to get back Purdy in there. Maybe Purdy lights it up, right? Maybe he comes in there and says, this is what you've been missing. This is why I'm back in there. But in a division game that, look, the Cardinals will give these guys a hard time. They've won 2 of the last 3 meetings between the two. They won here last year, or this year, but last season, 47-24 as a 5.5-point dog. So I think the Cardinals stay in this one, actually, and this is where they kind of perk up and pull off that upset, or at least cover here, and they're getting 3.5 points here. I'm interested in the Cardinals here with Jacoby Brissett here at plus 3.5 in this one. Big pass interference penalty here on Miami has allowed Debo got. I don't know about that. I mean, I don't know. Even McDaniels, man, and also he's saying pass was uncatchable. That doesn't matter. Okay, you guys can roll here. We got to roll. So give me your plays here right now in this one. As soon as we get done with the NFL, we're just going to rattle off the other plays. We love NFL, you guys. A bar here on the Niners. Mac Jones not mobile enough, right? Purdy can move a little bit. McBride, a big day here, says Justin. McCaffrey with a touchdown today in there. Don't forget the weapons here. I'm not going to totally bury the Cardinals here. They're actually okay against. They're not great. Cardinals, though, could make Purdy run a little bit. They do put a decent amount of pressure on quarterbacks for the type of team they are, I guess. Bar here on the Niners is on the over as well. Gerardo talking a little bit about World Cup qualifying, I believe, here. Let's keep it moving. I got to keep it moving, man. Go to the Ravens and the Browns here in this one. And watch out. Watch out, Baltimore. Okay, I know that they've gotten it all together here, and it's going to be all wins from here on out. They've won 3 in a row right now, and Lamar's in there. But watch out. He could get pressured today. Lamar could be on the run a little bit. And Dylan Gabriel, you know what? There's, I want to say, a little bit of hope here. I know everybody's kind of questioning whether or not he can be anything here at all. But, with Jerry Jeudy, I mean, can you believe Jeudy came up with a game there last time? Talk about out of nowhere, right? Jeudy showed up. Maybe there is a little chemistry there. I think the Browns can hang in here in this one, but I'm going to take the under. We've already seen these brutal weather conditions here possibly today with this wind, and I've got the under for sure. And I think there could be some volatility because of these conditions. Cleveland is 3-0 against the spread at home this season. That's a team that is 0-6 against the spread on the road. So Baltimore 4-3 is a favorite, but it's 2-2 against the spread. 4-3 against the spread is a favorite, and 2-2 against the spread overall on the road. So I think this is going to be a weird one, and Baltimore needs to win bad, but it could be a game that win, not wind, but could be a game where they really have to work for this one. I'm not sure about laying this many points with them, but I'm going to take the under as my play with Baltimore and Cleveland. Let me see your plays in here. I got to make it quick all of a sudden, man. All right, here it's got Bobby Mack on the Browns here and Ravens under for Justin. I don't even know why I do a show. You guys have all the best plays. I'm just copying you guys. Okay, Quinn. Another thank you, Justin, should be mentioned, right? And I think one of the keys for Gabriel is with the emergence of Quinshon Judkins. Okay, hasn't really been as good as he was in that Miami game, but the way he looks when I think there's big time promise for Quinshon Judkins. Robert on the under here as well. Defensive game. Tariq's on the under here, and the Commanders are moving down the field here a little bit. Okay, Chiefs and Broncos. big game, obviously, here. The Chiefs can really, this is the one they need if you're going to get back in the division race here, right? Look, they're probably going to make the playoffs no matter what. You got to win this one. Everybody's bagging on Bo Nix. I mean, Denver's 8-2. Yeah, he might be bad enough. Keon Coleman is benched today, they said, against Tampa Bay for Buffalo. Well, I don't even think it's an injury. I think they basically said we're benching Keon Coleman, and that's not great. The Buffalo Bills don't have a great receiving core today, but anyway, in this one with Kansas City and Denver here, I'm going to take the under in this one. I mean, Denver's got that historic defense right now. We know Kansas City, long term, they are a big time under team, mostly because they're so efficient with their ball control. And they're 3-6 to the under this season, 1-2 to the under on the road. Denver's 0-3 to the under as a dog. Kansas City's 2-5 to the under as a favorite. Kansas City is 1-2 ATS on the road. Denver's covered 2 of 3 as an underdog here. And look, I'm a Bo Nix guy. In fact, I'm not a Bo Nix guy like, I would take him to run my team a little bit if he were the option. So even with what's gone on, and the one game was pedestrian, I think he's still kind of learning on the job. I think he's still learning a little bit. It'd be nice if he had some better receivers. I don't want to say it like that. I mean, Cortland Sutton's had a nice season here, but his trajectory right now in the last 4 games has been whoop after the, good game against the Giants in that wild one. So they struggled against the Raiders again last week. I'd probably be more interested in Troy Franklin. I mean, he's the guy that's kind of been perking up, but behind that with Mims, I think Knicks could use some better receivers, actually. Evan Ingram, a tough matchup for him here, but for the Chiefs today, it's going to be tough sledding, even for Patrick Mahomes here. He could have a very frustrating day. I'm going to go under in this one between the Chiefs and the Broncos, and Chiefs need it. Maybe they can find a way to get the win. I think it's going to be tough, actually, against Denver today. A little steam here real quick. Good thing we have the steam for the college basketball coverage. Illinois State, Long Beach State under 142. It opened 144-ish. Here, this is kind of a big move to the under with Illinois and Long Beach State. We're seeing this one go down here right now to 141. 141, that's a 3-point move. Keep it moving in the NFL. We got to wrap up the show. We got the big game here, Lions and Eagles. Great game tonight. And I really don't know the plans. Maybe I should have paid attention whether or not we're on the air tonight with this one, but great game nonetheless with the Lions here on the road at the Eagles. Eagles -3, in fact, maybe even -2.5 here right now in this one against the Lions at home. Lions come in here 6-3. Eagles on a 3-game winning streak right now. Wins over Green Bay, Giants, and Minnesota, taking care of business. Detroit here beat Washington, but lost to Minnesota. They beat Tampa Bay, lost to Kansas City. It seems like they beat the easy teams and fail against the good teams. It's kind of against their pattern because they've been such a great cover. They're just 1-2 against the spread as an underdog this season, while going 6-3 ATS here, 5-1 ATS as a favorite. Eagles are 6-3 against the spread overall here. Lions are 1-2 to the under, but this one feels like it's a pretty awesome game here tonight. Obviously, let me see what your picks are here in the chat. Course, these two teams haven't met in a few years, strangely enough, especially with their playoff contentions. Big matchups here for the Eagles with Brown, with Smith, with Dotson. I think the Eagles passing game, it will make the difference here at home. I don't want to lay 3, but I am taking the Eagles here in this one to win, and I'll take them to cover, but I'm probably more interested in the money line and what should be a great game here tonight. Let's hear it from you guys in the chat. I got to quickly go here with 15 minutes left in the show, and a good game here tonight for sure. This feels like the toughest game on the card, actually, to me tonight. And let's see here. We got Blake went with the Chiefs. Nuke went with Denver in that game. I might have missed your comments there. And right, Peter, I had my chance, Peter, but I was done after that. I said, you know what? I'm going to be better as a reporter. Uh, Blake says Franklin anytime touchdown. Bills, Tampa likely covers. Nukes on the Eagles as well. And we're laying 2.5 here pretty much now, right? Not a 3 also. So Blake on the over. Eagles and under here. Robert on the under. That's it for the football. We've got to move on here quickly. And we'll just kind of dole out these games here a little bit. We preview the games on the weekdays on the NBA, right, when we've got a chance to focus on it. But I'll move through quickly with my plays today with the matchups here. Start here with Clippers at Boston. Man, can you believe it? The two of the worst spread teams going here for sure in this one with the Clippers and Boston. Clippers come in just 4-8, Boston 6-7, but even against the spread, it's been even worse. Clippers are 2-10 against the spread, but at least they beat Dallas the other night on the road. But man, here against Boston actually favored in the game. That's what is the problem here. I think for me, Boston to be favored here. Maybe the Clippers. Look, the Clippers have the personnel, right? It's just that for whatever reason they've been so bad here right now. They showed life there. One of the keys for the Clippers has been getting rid of Bradley Beal. They didn't get rid of him, but he's just injured here, and maybe that's helped the Clippers just a little bit. Beal was a stiff on the court here right now. Currently, the steam came in on the under. That's probably the right move. I was thinking over, and I just might be wrong. I'm sticking with the over there as my. But this one is definitely moved lower here for sure. But I'm going to take the Clippers plus the points here in this one. We'll see if I'm not saying getting rid of Bradley Beal is a solution. In fact, Boston, for as bad as they've been, they are 5-5 against the spread in their last 10 and 3-3 against the spread at home. Meanwhile, the Clippers don't cover anything. That was their first cover in a couple of weeks for sure. But I'm going to take the Clippers here today plus 5.5 against Boston. All right. There's Gerardo just bringing us winners. That's what he does. And also, we see that game 3-0, end of 2. Kings and Spurs here. Spurs 8.5, 240.5 in this one. Man, the Spurs probably a pretty good matchup for them here against the Kings here in this one. In fact, it's up to 8.5. It opens 7.5. So definitely the Spurs were kind of taking the action here, it feels like, in this one. And this one at 237.5. Kings are on a massive losing streak. The Spurs were hot, but they've lost 2 in a row to Golden State, even though maybe Wemby got the best of Draymond. It was the Warriors that had the last laugh, actually. These two teams kind of trend over 15-10 to the over overall when these two teams have met. And Sacramento 4-9 ATS, but 3-3 ATS on the road. Still, San Antonio has been a kind of a losing proposition, but they are 3-3 ATS at home here. So with the Kings and the Spurs here today, I've got to kind of look to the total, I think, in this one with that big spread. I think the Spurs probably can get this number, but I'm going to go to the total here in this one with San Antonio and Sacramento. 7 of the last 8 meetings between the two teams have gone over. Sacramento's gone over in 6 of 9. San Antonio's gone over in 6 of 7. I've got to go over in this one, Kings and Spurs. Bobby Mack in there, and Justin's on the team total over. And Peter took the nice to see Peter in the chat today. He took that money line there. Nets and Wizards, we can spend about 2 seconds on this one. Both teams come in 1-11. Okay, this is the spot, right, for Washington here. They're going to blow out the Brooklyn Nets. They need it. Brooklyn's actually been the better cover. They're 5-7 ATS, 2-4 ATS on the road. 5-7 ATS is an underdog. Washington's been a favorite in a game already. When was that? They lost it. I got Washington here for sure. It's hard to go out there and tout your play and say this is my lock of the day, if you will. But I think Washington's going to blow out Brooklyn. They need to take them here. Oh man, we got 5 seconds left, and they're going to have to call a timeout here to set up a field goal for Washington. They're only going to get 3 out of this, but they will tie the game here as long as they make it. I don't think they're going to go for a touchdown, but you never know with Dan Quinn. They certainly are close enough. They can't get a first down. There's only 3 seconds left. You really got to kick it unless you're a fool. Here comes Matt Gay. He's already missed one, but that was from 51. He's usually pretty good. Okay, we got 10 minutes left in the show, you guys. Wizards in a blowout. Let's put our whole life savings on this one, okay? Both teams 1-11. Let's go crazy. Warriors and Pelicans here. Warriors 8-8. Pelicans are 2-10. But you know what? We scored last night on a big underdog, and probably can get it done again here with the Warriors coming off 2 emotional games there. And going in here to New Orleans, yeah, it's been bad, but you know what? James Borrego is now the coach. Zion was ready to play all of a sudden. Miracle, changed the coach. Zion's ready to go, and I'm ready to go here. I probably can get behind the Pelicans in this one, but I'm going to look to the total here with these two. Warriors have been going over here, but 4 of the last 5 in this series has gone under. Warriors are 7-2 to the over on the road, but this isn't really a big total. I'm going to go under here in this one at 228 and a half here. I'm taking the under with Golden State and New Orleans. Great thing here is on these shows where we got to get out of here, I don't have to do a handicap. I can just make the pick. Take it or leave it. Here's over for VAR, though. You guys, that was a Brooklyn game. Over for Bob Mack. Commanders Wizards parlay, and Robert here says under. We got to keep it moving. Magic and Rockets here. This sounds like a highlight matchup down at the old Orlando Fronton here with the Magic on the road here, coming in right now with a record of 7-6. Houston, meanwhile, 8-3, looking good. They've won 3 in a row. Orlando's won 3 in a row. Is Orlando starting to get it together here, guys, a little bit? I would think they maybe are. I know they just played Portland, the Knicks, and Brooklyn, and covered them all. They didn't cover as a big favorite against Brooklyn, but hey, you know what? They're not a team to be covering big spreads. Orlando, this is only the second time this season that Orlando's been an underdog. Talk about overrated. No wonder they're 5-8 against the spread. Houston, meanwhile, 8-3. ATS 7-3. ATS as a favorite. Houston's been a big time over this year. 9-2 to the over. I think this one's going over at it's not 225.5, is it? It's 226. I got to go over in this one with Orlando and Houston. Come on. Orlando can definitely get up and down on these guys here today. I might even try to spring an upset with the Magic. That, after all, they're on this winning streak. Houston's on a winning streak too. They won and covered against Milwaukee, Washington, and Portland. They're looking good. This game's a little bit underrated. All right, and thank you. Oh, thank you, Nuke. He likes Montreal in the Grey Cup today. Thanks, Nuke. Before you go, let me see if I can't squeeze out a total here. You know what? I already went with Montreal today as well to win this one. They're against Saskatchewan. So thanks, Nuke. But I'll go with the total then, but that's okay. I'm going to take it under today. I think it's going to be a great game. The Grey Cup in Canada today for Nuke. That's our preview of the game, actually. Nuke gives you Montreal. I agreed with him, and I'll take the under so we can have 2 plays in the Grey Cup. Thank you, Nuke. I have a graphic, but we'll just scrap it because we're on the move here. Trailblazers and Mavericks here in this one. Trailblazers on the road here. Favorite is it up to 4.5 here right now? What's going on with that? Portland 6-6, Dallas 3-10, but Dallas has lost 3 in a row. They made the change at general manager here. Portland hasn't really been a great cover, 2-5 against the spread on the road. At least Dallas is 4-4. ATS as a dog. I got to take Dallas here. Portland's not anything special right now. A little bit of a good run here of late. They actually lost 3 of 4. So I'd rather take Dallas here they're trying to repair things a little bit with Washington, with Cooper Flag. They'll get things turned around here a little bit against a mediocre team here like Portland. I think they can get the money here in this one. I'm not putting Portland over the top yet, despite that 6-6 record. I'm going to take Dallas in this one. Mike took the Rockets back there real quick. A couple more here. Hawks and Suns. Hawks are on the road here, favored by 1.5. Justin and I, our favorite matchup here with Atlanta and Phoenix. We don't even know what's going on, but both teams come in red hot right now. Phoenix is on a winning streak. We've been riding them for sure. Atlanta's been looking great here as well. Phoenix is 7-0 against the spread at home so far this season. They're 2-5 to the under at home. 3-7 to the under in their last 10 games here in this one. So at look at that 229. I think that's a great indicator. I see some 230s out there, but it opened as high as 232. I'm on the under here for sure in this one. I'm pretty solid on that. Give me the under here with Atlanta and Phoenix. Bulls and Jazz here in this one, with the Bulls on the road, laying the points to the Jazz. They're favored here by up to 5 here right now, and the total 243.5 here in this one with the Bulls on the road. But the Jazz have been a little bit better at home. Bulls have lost 4 straight. They've kind of given some back here big time of late. Utah is 5-1 against the spread at home so far this season. As good as Chicago's been, they're 2-3 against the spread on the road. I got to take Utah here plus the points tonight. Give me the Jazz over the Bulls. Bulls have lost 4 straight games all of a sudden. Jazz did have a win a couple of nights ago, knocking out Indiana, but they still scored 152 points on them. Okay, few here real quick. Let's see if we can get these in here in the NHL, and then we're out of here right now. And let's see if I can get it done here. Pittsburgh and Nashville. I like this one. I like Pittsburgh to win and shut them out. No, just kidding. Golden Knights here taking on the Wild here, and a little bit. Did I miss one here? Oh, the Canucks and Lightning. I'm half kidding there. Canucks and Lightning here in this one with the Canucks on the road at plus $1.55 or so in this one. I got to take Vancouver here on the puck line. It's about minus $1.60 or so, but I'm not trusting the Lightning. You're not trusting any team right now with the way things are going to win by 2. Golden Knights and the Wild here in Minnesota. Golden Knights, I don't know if it's just a lull in the schedule all of a sudden, but I think we've got a backup goalie here going today. But I still like the under in this one with the Golden Knights and Minnesota. Give me the under here. Red Wings and Rangers here. Talbot and Quick expected here in this one, and Rangers a favorite here for sure, $1.40 or so in this one, and I'm showing in goal here. Let me get it right. It is Talbot and Quick here, and I'm going to go under here in this one with the Rangers and the Red Wings, and last but not least, it's going to be the Islanders and the Avalanche. How about this one with these two teams, Soroka and Wedgwood here in this one, and I'm going to have to look to another under here. Man, the unders were in force yesterday, weren't they? I'll go under here in this one as well. That's it for the show. There's no drawing today. We got to get out of here. Make way for Mike and Sharky. They're going to bring you the action here. Stay tuned. This stream is about to pop off here right now. Irish King, everybody's on Montreal. Why aren't they taking Saskatchewan? They had the far better record this season. Thanks a lot, you guys, for joining me on the Morning Steam. I'll be back tomorrow, 9 a.m. Eastern, 6 Pacific, with more Morning Steam. We'll preview Monday Night Football and plenty of college basketball. Hopefully, we got you going with your college basketball picks. Stay tuned, though, for Mike and Sharky. They're going to go down this entire NFL schedule on the NFL show here in just a moment. So for the Sports Money Network, I'm Ramon Scott. So long. Stay tuned. Leave this stream. Come right back in with Mike and Sharky. They'll fire it up here in just a moment.
That's gonna cover. That's gonna cash. Then we make the 100-yard dash to the window. I don't know what you thought. It's Ramon Scott running so hot. Sports make money and we make money betting with sports money every single day. NFL, NHL, NCAA. Stay away from the juice who might play a parlay. It's the morning steam. What? Ramon Scott. Sports money. What? Wake your ass up and let's get to the money. Get to the money.